What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Today I'm going to show you how to vinyl wrap your front windshield. By that I mean how to put paint protection film over your front windshield. A million times more elastic, or has a lot more elasticity compared to previous generations of what you may have seen or have possibly even used yourself on the market. Now, this isn't just any paint protection film, and you might be wondering, why would you want a paint protection film your windshield? Well, that's because vehicles like mine get a lot of stone chips and cracks in them. I'm on my third windshield or / windscreen, whatever you want to call it, and this will help protect it. Now, why haven't I done this sooner? It's because there wasn't really a product on the market that I trusted and wanted to put on my front window. Generally, it is covered by insurance, but who wants to go through the hassle of that? Okay, so if you can protect it in the meantime, great. I do a lot of highway driving. It's going to be great to protect it. The product that I'm showing you today specifically comes from Flexi-Shield, and the product is called Defender, or DFR. This is the best optically clear window film protection that you can get. What does this look like? Well, it looks mostly clear. Okay. What kind of warranty are they offering on it? To be honest, it's a fair warranty. It's 2 years, and that's from like delaminating or yellowing, basically. This does come with a top coating on it. Now, this is so much simpler to install. This is like just installing paint protection film with a few variables. Okay, so it's not exactly the same, excuse me, but it is slightly different. If you guys are looking for more in-depth how to vinyl wrap videos or the open forum discussion board, check out my website, ckwraps.com. Links in the top corner and the description below. Where you sign up, you always get your first month free. Check it out. I answer questions on there every single day. Now, a few things you're going to need are the basics. You're going to need a squeegee that you like to use for paint protection film. You don't want to use the buffer side. We're going to be using the hard edge. I have a hybrid squeegee from Tri-Edge here. I really like this squeegee. I can use it for dry installation PPF, or like hybrid installation PPF, or I can use it, which Flexi-Shield also has, or I can use the hard edge for when I do a wet install, and I can just flip it around. Super simple. This particular one is the blue one. That's why I really like the stiffness of it, but that is subjective to each user's personal preference. A couple other things that you're going to need is a spray bottle, something with decent pressure, but you can go to most hardware stores and pick something up like a weed sprayer, get something like this, and then just pump that up, make sure it's got some good pressure. In here, I've mixed in double the slip solution, okay? So normally I would put about 2 milliliters of baby shampoo per 1 liter of distilled water. Okay, in here right now, I have 4 milliliters of baby shampoo. With this film, we're gonna want a bit more slip. Windshields, this one's pretty flat, but most are not that curved. Some are, so they'll be easy to do, but you're gonna want that slip in there because the adhesive is a little bit softer. Now, the key points to this film is that it's going to actually protect your windshield, and paint protection film will do it, like TPU will do it, but TPU is not, excuse me, optically clear. That is a huge difference, okay? You can PPF your front window all you want, but it will look like you have your beer goggles on when you're driving down the road. Totally unsafe, probably give you a headache and so forth. A couple of other things that you're gonna want, excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat, are some plastic razor blades, because we're going to want to use this, especially with a car that's been driven like mine. I have about 80,000 kilometers on it, something like that, which is probably like 50,000 miles. Plastic razor blades, really cheap, easy to get. You can grab them on Amazon. Most of the stuff that you guys need for this stuff, you can get it from my website in the product shop there. I also have this instead, which I like. It's from Tri-Edge as well. This is to scrape off the surface of the windshield, but we're going to be applying a little bit of the slip solution to the surface of the windshield and then scrubbing away. So you can use either one. If you don't want to grab something like this, which is a bit more professional, you can go out there with blades. This is obviously a lot nicer to handle, gets a wider surface area done, and it's called Smooth It. So it smooths it right out. More for window tinting, but now that we have it for this, you can use it for this. My windshield is not brand new, so don't judge it too much. There are some stone chips in it, you know, like there's definitely one big one right up here, which you might notice. I'll bring you guys in for all this stuff, but one big one right up there, which I did fill with one of those little Amazon kits. As you can see, my Jeep is pretty high up, so I have a couple of stands over here on each side so I can get up here and be able to reach. This is not pre-cut, so I'm not pre-cutting this film. This is completely bulk installation, which means that I'm going to be trimming this out by hand afterwards. Let's get into it. Okay, so we want to, excuse me, We can check the measurement from this side to this side, but I can tell you right now, obviously it's not 48 inches. I believe this is 48 inches right now. I didn't measure it, but I believe that it is 48 inches tall, the roll. But they have cut me the length as long as I need. So I have probably enough to do like 2 or 3 windshields with this. Let me get set up here and get the window prepped. Actually, let's get the window prepped first. And then we're gonna prep it one more time before. So I'll just do one side with the blades to show you. Let's go over here. See how much I can reach. Should be able to reach. I might have to open the door up. And we're just gonna get in there. And you might be able to hear some of the texture to the windshield, okay? We wanna get all that texture off. That's tree saps, insects, whatever. Be very thorough with this, okay? So this side, again, this will take a little bit longer using a blade, but it will work. If you really wanted to use a metal blade, you could, as long as you don't dig into the glass. I've seen people do it before with window tinting and so forth, but just don't dig into the glass with the corners of it. Once we do get the windshield prepped, we're gonna spray it down again. We're gonna squeegee it off, not wipe it off. We're gonna squeegee it off, because if we don't wanna use a microfiber cloth, that will create lint. And the lint, it's hard to reach. The lint will get trapped underneath your PPF and will show, and it will look horrible. So you do need to put a little bit more slip over here. I literally just washed my Jeep. It took me like 2 hours to do it because it's winter's been so heavy here. It's still dripping off snow, so you might hear that. But yeah, you want to make sure that you don't have any lint or anything underneath your windshield film, because obviously that's going to be there forever until you remove it. I'm going to flip my blade over, probably go through 2 or 3 blades if you were to do the whole windshield. Again, I'm just going to do about half with this blade and then half with the smooth it from tri-edge. Okay, let's get over to the other side. It's going to be a little bit different to reach that side, but let's do it. Might be easier actually. Yeah, it'll be easier over here. Sit that there, barely. Okay, fit still. If I can't reach, what I'll do is I'll just open my door up. Antenna's in my way. There we go. This is a great tool. Look at this. Get that done. You want to usually go back and forth motions, crisscross. If you do swirls, you'll probably miss a spot. So don't go like this. Go always back and forth. What you can also do is ceramic coat this film afterwards if you'd like to. Make sure you give that plenty of time to dry. So the downtime is obviously going to be a lot longer. And also keep in mind that the film, listen to this. Yeah, that's right in there. And now it's gone. Must have been a bug or something from the summer. But yeah, this film's not going to be dry right away. It does take a little bit of time. I will take a heat gun to it and accelerate the process to show you the end result, and which you can do. It's safe as long as you don't just like hold the heat gun too close and burn the film, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, so I feel like this tool's better than the blade, but the blades will work. I know that for sure. I'm gonna do the other side a little bit just to be extra thorough. I don't want to do things twice. Yeah, and you can see the difference between the blade versus something like this. And what I can do is I can also just rinse this off a little bit. Perfect. Just so I don't carry anything back onto the windshield. Beautiful. So much faster. It feels pretty good on this side. I can tell you, it doesn't feel very rough or anything like that. So the blades did do a good job. I just wanted to be extra cautious. All right, cool. What we need to do next is slip the window and then squeegee it off. I'm gonna grab my larger squeegee, which is right over here. And let's just I was gonna zoom the camera in, but I'll just crop this part so you can see better. I'll crop all that actually. But I'll keep the camera zoomed out just so you can see me put the film on the table and how I get it set up. So again, we wanna use a squeegee like this to squeegee off the surface and not use a cloth. Yeah, has some heavy stone chips in there, but again, keep in mind, it's probably got 20,000 kilometers on the windshield. And again, I do a lot of highway driving. So, and this is my 3rd one. So I don't have to replace this thing like once every year and a half. 2 years. I've had the Jeep now for 5. That'll be great. Again, insurance will cover it most of the time, but who wants to deal with that hassle? Again, you can see I lifted my wiper blades up because they're actually just in the way, and most will be. So lifters up. Wiper blade removal is actually pretty straightforward, pretty simple if you know how to do it. You just pop those caps off, and there's two nuts underneath. All right, let me move the table a bit more over. Oops. And we're gonna get this set up. Now I could use 2 tables side by side so that my film doesn't fall off. I also haven't measured yet, so we're gonna do that. And what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna wet my table. I could do this on the hood if I wanted to, but it's just obviously way more professional to do this on some tables. And what I'm gonna do with my table right now is take that, you saw me slip it, and now I'm gonna squeegee it out. This is kind of why I left the camera in position. You gotta get all this stuff going before we actually put the film to the window. Okay. Boom. Let's grab a tape measure and measure out the window. Just gonna make sure everything's good with the video. Everything's good, audio's good. Okay, I think this is steel. It's not. It's awesome. It's okay. Let's open the door up. Just, oops. Okay. And then this will just give me a rough idea of what I need. If this was a normal size Jeep, I wouldn't be having to stand up on this thing all the time. It'd be a lot easier to reach, but it's okay. Okay, so I'd say about 60 inches. Probably pretty standard. Some of them will probably be maybe a little bit wider than that, but that's like giving me extra. That's like 2 inches past on this end. And then obviously I'm 2 or 3 inches past that end as well, but I'm also wrapped into the door slightly with the tape measure. So overall, I'm probably like, this is probably more of an exact measurement, like 52 inches, I would say, something like that. We're just gonna cut it at 60, so because it's good to have extra. Before I even apply the film to the surface, I'm also going to prep the window one more time because thoroughness is key. Okay, top to bottom, doesn't really matter because this is 40, is it 40 or 48? Let's see. Curious. So it is, could be 40. Oh, it's 48. Okay, I was right, 4 feet. So if my windshield is 2 feet tall, great, or less than that. So I can cut that in half. So I have 48 inches tall on the roll, which means I can technically get out of one measurement of 60 inches, I can get 2 Jeep windshields done with that material. So first, Jeep basically pays for the material on both on the material that you've used and plus your profit. And then second, Jeep is like all profit because obviously that was all paid for and used after the first cut when you did the first Jeep, or you just split it between the two kind of thing. But one way or the other, it averages itself out. All right, let's get the material cut and prepped. Okay, maybe I should angle the camera slightly more for you guys to see over here. Let's check it. Just give you a bit more view of what's going on. So we said 60, and then we're gonna cut that in half. I'm just gonna get another table. This is silly. This makes way more sense. 8-foot tables, I tell everyone in the workshops, are key if you're gonna do this. Some people use plexiglass on a wall, but one way or the other, you're gonna want something. Okay, we're going to prep this table as well, because again, I don't want to have any contamination on my window protection film. Try and keep yourself away as much as possible from the area that you're working, especially like me. I'm wearing cotton right now, so cotton is not ideal for doing paint protection film. You should be wearing nylon. Okay, so I'm gonna wet the table again. That's just to put a little slip down on the surface so that the film sort of sticks to the table. Not sure if I'm in the camera there or not, but probably doesn't matter too much. Okay, we're gonna go 60 inches. You can hear the static, so keep yourself away from the material as much as you can. Cool. I'm going to put a squeegee right at the end here so it doesn't roll off. Little trick. And I'm also going to trim off some. Because of the first loop going around, it's probably like a little bit dirty. So I might as well just trim that off. It's been sitting for a while. I've had this for like a month now. So what can I use that for? I can probably use it for something. There's some very small headlights or indicator, side markers, whatever. Okay, let's pull it a bit more this way because I'm pretty sure I won't have 60 inches there. Cool. And again, this has the hard cap sheet. I don't know how many times I said that, but just to reiterate that. Measurement, so let's do that. And then we'll have 2 windshields out of 1 cut for a Jeep specifically. 60 should be right about there. Perfect. Good eye. I'm gonna write on it with a Sharpie. It's okay. I'm not wrapping that part on the window. And I can probably just wipe it off anyways. 60 is there. Cool. Okay, move my tape measure. Let's cut. Doesn't have to be exact because I know that I have 60 inches when I only need like 52. You can pre-cut this stuff. If you have a plotter, cool, go for it, pre-cut it. Let me move this out of the way. I'll just put it back here for now. And maybe I should move the camera slightly more. With the camera in position, we're gonna divide this up, okay? So I'm just gonna fold that over. Don't crease it or pre-crease it before that. And I'm just gonna put a crease down the middle, and that will give me enough for both of my windshields. So I'll save it. Maybe I've got a buddy or someone that I know, or another customer who has a Jeep. I know lots of people have Jeeps actually. So totally worth saving. Something like that. It's close enough. It's off slightly, but my windshield's only like 21 inches. So even if it's off slightly, it's okay. That's just going to make a line so I can easily cut it. I could use something, obviously a different tool or something to make the line, but this is the simplest way for me. There's that line. I can bring that right to the center of the table there, right where the gap is, and that'll make it easy to cut. Right there. Perfect. Okay, one I'll just put right there. The other one we're gonna get set up. So let's just roll this one back over one more time, make some space on the table. Again, don't crease your material. Last thing you wanna see is a crease in your windshield. Let's get that scrap piece out of the way. And then, can you peel the cap sheet off now? Yeah, I mean, I guess it has a cap sheet. I think it does, or maybe it doesn't. It could be totally wrong. At first, I assumed it had a cap sheet because a lot of PPF comes with a cap sheet. Now, it's getting the liner to separate. Okay, hold on. It's like window tint. Okay, maybe I'll bring it more in front of the camera for you guys to see. So I'll do it right over here. Because when I get it, I want you to know how that went. Okay, so let's drag it over here. Cool. So yeah, it's kind of more like, it's like separating window tint. Okay, so what I like to do with that then is I cut a little slit. And again, this is excess material. And then I pull it, and then the 2 layers, they tear at different rates. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm able to separate the film now because I can put my knife between the layers. Okay, so right now, I'm gonna flip this over because I forgot that I have it liner side down. I want it liner side up. Could have left myself with some more room to work with over here, but it's okay. I'll make it work. Remember, double your slip. Try not to touch anywhere in the middle. Obviously, you're putting this on glass. And so you don't want to have a fingerprint in there somewhere. You can generally touch it when it's wet, but this is going to be a little bit more sensitive. Just because the adhesive is a difference and the material is just slightly different as well. Let's, come on, separate. It's just not wet enough down there. There we go. So see what happens when the table is wet? When the film sticks to the table. Okay, plop that back down. I'll pull up the other end just slightly. Try not to have that happen, that's okay. But we're gonna cover that back up just for a moment while we get the windshield prepped. And actually I can just go from this end here. I just don't want to have that whole piece exposed. Okay, always wet as you go. Nice to have an extra set of hands for something like this, and you got a friend or a brother or a sister or anyone around, they can help you do this too. It's super easy. Okay, that's cool, that's done. I'm gonna move my tables over slightly and we're gonna prep the window one more time. So let me move these over, get the camera back into the position of the front windshields, and that's cool right there. And let's just move that over a bit like this. Okay, I'll leave an angle for now, and then I'll get it more straight on in a moment. Okay, so second prep here is this. Do exactly what we did before. Oh, I'm gonna get my big squeegee again. So do exactly what we did before by squeegeeing it off. Now, because there's been downtime between setting up the material versus when I prepped the windshield last, lint and debris and stuff could have fallen on top of the windshield during that time. So we're gonna prep it one more time. And then we're gonna take our film with minimal downtime and apply it over top of the window. This is gonna be hard for me to do because I'm not that tall. I'm tall, but I'm not that tall where I can reach. So just because of the Jeeps being so high, again, a little bit unreasonable in this sense, but it is what it is. I'll make it work. But much easier with two people if you had a second set of hands to do something this high up. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. I think my Jeep's like 7.5 feet or something. I'm 6'2", so, okay. Okay, so that's set up. Now we're gonna take our material and we're gonna bring it over to the window. I'm gonna wet it one more time, just letting you know in case you couldn't see that, you probably can't. Wetting it one more time. Okay, it's gonna drip, 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 drip. Don't do that, don't let it crease too much or at all. So I'm gonna slide it across the glass since that's the cleanest area. Once I get it far enough, the whole Jeep's clean, but it's okay. Again, much easier to do this with someone else. Okay, this is not like normal paint protection film. I don't wanna fold the adhesive over like I do normally with TPU. I would just have folded it over and unwound it on top of the windshield, being more delicate with them, grabbing it very, very gently. Cool. Okay, so we're getting there. And then once I get it a bit more into position, I'll move that camera into a better view for you. Okay, and I'll also just slip it one more time behind the windshield. So this product is a million times more elastic, or has a lot more elasticity compared to previous generations of what you may have seen or have possibly even used yourself on the market. So you're able to contour this much more freely around more difficult windshields. Again, this is not the most difficult windshield other than the factor of it being so high up. But Teslas or anything that's rounded can be a lot more challenging. I think Teslas are pretty tough. Okay. I mean, if you can window tint a Tesla windshields, not really supposed to do that, but if you could do that, so this is good right now. So you can see a lot of sudsing going on, a lot of bubbling going on. I'm going to move the camera back into position and get you more centered and zoomed in. All right, guys, with the camera in place, I'm going to slip the surface. Not sure if I did it. Probably did already, but we're going to slip it and then we're going to start squeegeeing. I'm going to probably stand on the tire, so I'm going to remove my slip solution bottle so I can get up there. Maybe I don't need to. Let's see. No, I'm going to need to, I think. So let's try and stay out of your way. I want to press firm, but I don't want to drag the material, okay? Now, if you had more contour to the, it's coming out super clear right off the bat. That all has to do with pressure though. Now, if you have more contour to the surface, all you do is pull the material more tight. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't want to have to move this once you've squeegeed it down. If you do that, you're gonna get a tack line or a lift line, and that won't be good. Okay. Okay, we're gonna switch it up. Gotta get down from here now. I think I have a bit of height to me, so it's so hard getting up there. It's super clear already, guys. It's crazy. I thought it was gonna be a bit more hazy, but it's really clear. Okay, can I reach here? I usually have the doors off when I wrap the Jeep, so I can usually stand in the door jamb area. There we go. Okay, so I can see a bit of haziness from left to right. That's just because the passenger side has begun to dry out. Yeah, if you had like a G-Wagon square to do, you'd be standing, doing something similar like me. I have a little scaffolding thing, but just way too lazy to go and get it. And take that out. Okay, so this appears to be mostly finished. I know that the edges are not totally done yet, but that's okay. I'm gonna get down and we're gonna squeegee off the surface to make sure that we don't have any bubbles. You can wipe it if you want to, or you can just squeegee it off. If you squeegee it off, just make sure that you have solid consistency to your squeegee and pressure. This way you're not leaving any droplets behind. Cool. A little bit hazy. It's going to dry out though. It's actually super clear compared to what I was expecting. That could also just be some of the haze from the surface right now. Okay, I found a couple of bubbles, lower section right there. Not too late to get them out. It's only been a moment. Cool. That's good. That's good. Up here, we've got a little finger. There we go. Just had to alleviate it from the edge there. You can add tack solution to this. Your tack solution mixture is only distilled water. That's it. Don't put any alcohol in it. This is what they're calling for. So again, I want you to know what to do and how to do it properly. So if that's what they're saying, that's what they're saying. That's what we go with. Saw a couple of bubbles up there. I have to go back to the other side. If the surface is not wet, your squeegee will drag and it's going to make this a lot more difficult. So I see a couple of bubbles down here. Now, can I cut this when it's wet? You can. It's more risky. You can screw it up, but keep in mind, this is clear going over top of a clear window. If you're not perfectly at the edge, you're not going to be able to tell. Obviously, we're trying to cover as much as possible, right? But you also cannot wrap this around the edge, okay? So keep that in mind. You cannot take this material and wrap it, as far as I know. Someone may correct me on that eventually, or maybe that will change eventually, but as it stands, you cannot wrap this around the edges. You could. Is it worth it? Stones are not going to hit around the edges, so we're basically just trying to cover front on impact. And so yes, of course, covering as much of the edge as possible is key. Now, I'll squeegee that off one more time and check it, and then we'll have a look to see if there's any more bubbles, and then we'll cut right. I'll just cut right away. You can cut right away if you have a really sharp blade and you're comfortable with doing something like that, you can. Just checking. Okay. I wonder what it looks like from the inside. I'll show you guys afterwards with the camera, but I'm just curious myself. Okay, it still looks a little bit wet from the inside, but it's super clear, actually, already. Most of it. It will dry just like PPS. There's a little bit there. It's like a little bit of fluid there. Okay, let's go back this side. It's not a bad idea to look at it from the inside of the car because that's where you'll be seeing it most of the time. So let's check this side from the inside of the car. So there's my stone chip, and I can see it does need to dry slightly. I also need to clean my front windshield. I can see that that's not perfectly clean, so I'll clean that while the Jeep's in here today. But yeah, so down here, I can see it's super, super clear. Up here, it's just not totally clear yet. I wonder if that's if I just had squeezed that a little bit more right now. So that will go more clear right off the bat. Oh yeah, now it's totally clear. Awesome. Okay. So it does need to dry, but we're going to cut anyways. To cut, super, super, super important, okay? Fresh blade. Use good quality blades. I have titanium coated blades from Sign-Maker Tools or Yellow Tools, same company. Or you can use like the extra sharp ones. They're usually black, like Alpha Black or NT Cutter Black, totally up to you. But I like the titanium ones from Sign-Maker Tools. They're solid. They do an excellent job. Now cutting this for me is going to be a pain because I have nothing to step on. Does it help when I open the door? Can I step in somewhere? Maybe, maybe not. I need more of a boost over on this side to be able to reach the top right above the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two stands and stack them. They're actually just my race ramps, and I'm just going to stack them up. Totally unsafe, but that's okay. Okay, my edge is right there where my thumbnail is, okay? I don't want to come too close to the edge because if I end up overhanging the edge slightly, what's going to happen is that edge is going to build up dirt from behind and it's going to look really ugly over time. So we want to cut just on the front side. Now I have not done this, a cut like this big with this material, so I have to maintain good consistency with my pressure. Not push too hard. I mean, I'm not going to scratch the glass, but you never know. Don't want to do that. Oops, I overhung there. Cool. Let's keep coming around the bend. Turns are more difficult. Now, this is what I would consider rushing the job, okay? So I have made a little slit there. So we're going to take this. You're better off to let the material dry. And it scores just like TPU. So that's beautiful. You're better off to let the material dry before you do something like this, okay? Bottom cut, it's going to be a little tricky. It's the opposite way for me. And again, the material's wet, so you probably see it sort of moving or shifting under my blade. So keeping it straight is challenging because of that. And I heated up my shop too much today because it's been so damn cold outside and I want all the snow to melt off the Jeep, but man, it's hot in here right now. This does not require a lot of pressure at all, okay? You know that scrap piece that I cut off? Take that scrap piece, do a couple of practice cuts first, just trying to score the material. You can see that I'm scoring the material because you can see the material's lifting as I'm pulling it off. Okay, the other side, ooh, that was farther drop than I thought because I forgot that I stacked up both, but that didn't make that much easier. Okay, let's bring it over. The other side should be easier for me, I think, just because of the way I'll be cutting. All right, let's get that side done. And then we'll get you in the Jeep. And I'm pretty sure it's mostly clear, but I'll get you in the Jeep afterwards and we'll see how it looks. I have to finish up my edges still. You can lean on my antenna, it's not gonna break it. Okay, around my antenna now. Hitting the butt. I could see how plotting this might be pretty nice, but if you had a window that's hard to do, that's when plotting becomes difficult, because it's sometimes really difficult to stretch material around stuff if you don't have that extra to hold on to. Okay. I wish this door was open so I could stand in the door jamb, or sorry, off, so I could stand in the door jamb. I can't. It's hot up here. You can hear my blade just lightly dragging on the film. And honestly, it doesn't squeak like TPU. So we're not really listening for that. We're trying to hear that squeaking sound as far as I'm concerned. We're just trying to lightly score the surface so we can peel off the extra material. Where's the where to end? Right there. All right. Yeah. Okay, always peel away. And again, you can see it's pulling up the material, so you know that I haven't cut through. And the likeliness of causing damage to the glass is next to none. Okay. Now, do I want to go hit the highway right now? No, I do not. You're going to want to let this dry for about an hour at least before it hits the road. I'm going to go over it one more time and squeegee it again. Just make sure I get out all my edges. I've also got tack solution. I think I have some mixed. Yep. So I'm going to shoot some tack solution all around the edges. So that's my bottle there with the green or whatever mint color label on it. That's the Flexi Shield color. And just wrap the top. We're going to get some tack in all those edges. Because all of the edges right now do not look finished. So if you actually zoom in more, let's see how close in I can get you to show you that. So if you look maybe across, you see the bottom edge there? See how it's like bubbly looking around the edge? Let's go up to the top. You probably see it at the top a little bit too. I'm not sure how well the camera is going to show that, but that all needs to be finished off. Okay, so we are going to now put tack solution, zoom out again, around those edges, and get that finished off. Beautiful part about this sprayer, I can spray it sideways. I can spray it upside down. I can spray it sideways. I can spray it any way I want. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to throw a little more slip solution on the surface. We're going to squeegee out those edges and this thing will be done. I could probably squeegee it right now with the water, the distilled water, but we'll just put some slip on there because it'll glide a little bit nicer. All right. Okay, so I'm going to work more thoroughly this time, just at the edges there. I'm stopping. You see how I kind of pause right when I get to the edge? So I'm starting somewhat from the middle. I'm using more of a pushing motion. Not a petting motion. That's because the majority of the film is already squeegeed down. So the pushing motion actually adds, in my experience and my opinion also, is that it adds better pressure. And then there, see, I just stopped sort of right at the edge. Nice. Okay, I can reach a bit more from this side. And this way I don't have as much to do on the other side. I'm just looking for any fingers that might need to be pressed down at the edges, but I don't see any so far. Just had a couple at the top there, but looking good otherwise. Let's go finish up this side. Let's put a little more slip. I need my race ramps. All right. And let's finish this off. I can even go straight through like this or divide it. There. That should actually prevent that stone chip the bigger one that I do have, that one that I had to fill in. This should prevent it from ever spreading, because it's holding the top layer of glass more intact. Squeegeeing my left hand here, it's always weird. But yeah, that stone chip that I have, that one that I was more afraid of spreading, probably won't spread anymore due to having the film on here, because it's holding that top layer, even though there is a laminate between, there's a double pane glass with a laminate between it, even though there is that, it's still, the top layer can still spread, right? So now that I have something holding the top layer down, rocking. All right. Get that squeegee off one more time and show you what it looks like from the inside of the car, since you can see it from the outside. Yeah, it's mostly just a little bit hazy due to the inside of my window not being super clean. Okay, and then I'm not going to show you like how my wiper blades work on it right away, because I want that to cure for about an hour, even longer, an hour or two. So if you put your wiper blades on it and then use them, I mean, I can put my wiper blades on them, but it's also most likely better to leave them off until it dries entirely. This way you don't get a line or something at the bottom, just in case. I don't think that it will, but anything's possible when the adhesive is still soft and hasn't cured yet. So let's bring the camera off and get you in the car so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so to show you from my point of view here, you can see that it is quite clear, okay? There's not like the clarity, the reflection, everything else is really, really clear. You're not seeing distortion or anything like that. That's important, super important. Let's go to the inside of the truck and see what we see. Still got some smearing on it, but perfect. Look how clear that is, okay? We're not seeing any distortion, and this hasn't even fully dried yet. Okay, so this is gonna dry over more time, and it's gonna look even better. So if you can see anything now, you won't see anything in a little while. And again, there's that stone chip right there. So in case anyone did notice that, that's what that is. But now that stone chip will be protected. All right, guys, that's it. That's how you install FlexiShield Defender /DFR. That's like the little abbreviation that they're using on their website. A lot of companies do stuff like that. So yeah, optically clear, show you inside and outside, show you how it installs, talked about the procedure and what you need to use and the way you should be doing it. Again, adding in more slip solution or making it more slippy is super important because you need that glide. I did find initially that the adhesive is quite sticky, so you're gonna want that extra slip on there. If you have a way more curved windscreen or windshield, I think Teslas are, like I said, it's gonna be more challenging than this. Obviously, this is pretty straightforward, it's pretty flat, it's fairly easy. This film does not shrink, so we're not worried about that. We put a little bit of tack solution, just again, distilled water around the edges. That helps all the edges sit down, and then we're gonna let this dry for at least an hour before you use the wiper blades. Well, probably longer than that before you use the wiper blades, but at least an hour before you put it outside, and just give it that time. Unless it's a really hot sunny day, really warm outside, probably dry a lot faster, but otherwise it's -15 or something outside today. Yeah, it's cold, so it's gonna take a lot longer to dry. I wanna keep it inside and let it cure properly in the shop. Simple, effective and easy solution to protect your front windshields. This is it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching as always. I appreciate it. Take care.